Hey doing everyone, it's Juan Romero here, back with another Nintendo Switch review. Hit that subscribe button if you want everything Nintendo Switch, including reviews and gameplay videos. But for today, we've got a bullet hell shooter called Shikhondo Soul Eater, which was developed by DeerFarm Games and published by Digerati. Let's not hang about and get straight into the gameplay. First of all, there isn't anything you've not seen here before. The gameplay is much like any bullet hell type games I've played in the past, and we've been lucky on the Switch to not only have many of the classic shooters ported over, but some great bullet hell games, with one of my favourites being Danmaku Unlimited 3, which is what this game is quite similar to in its gameplay systems. Check the card above if you want to see the review on that particular game. Now here you can choose from two characters, one being Grim Reaper and the other called simply The Girl, which I thought was very imaginative. Both are slightly different in how they play, and which you prefer will depend on your playstyle. Grim Reaper's weapons fill up a lot of the screen, and when you hold one of the trigger buttons, she focuses this energy and the bullets being fired become more narrow but more powerful. The disadvantage is that this slows you down. The girl's bullets are more focused and her firing arc is not as wide as the Grim Reaper, but her advantage is when you focus her weapons, two power balls will lock into the enemies and fire bullets directly at them. And even when firing normally, some of her bullets home into enemies. But of course they are not as powerful. The key to this game is to keep an eye on the little blue orb within the flying girls and forget everything else. Focusing on bullets not hitting the girls will get you killed very quickly, as it's that little blue orb which is the most important and needs to be protected at all times by dodging bullets. Graze bullets by using the outline of your characters though, and you'll fill up your soul bar. Once this is done, you can activate your soul collect mode, which lasts a few seconds but will allow you to destroy everything on screen pretty quickly. Now if you have a soul token as well, you can activate it normally to act as a bomb to take out bullets and enemies on screen, which is essential when things get a little too tight for comfort. However, if you activate your soul collect mode and then use your bomb attack, it will activate an even stronger version of the soul collect mode, which is fun indeed. Dodging and grazing bullets is the name of the game here, and over the 45 minutes it takes to complete this game is pretty good fun. Now these games are never about how quickly you can complete them, because in all honesty anyone can complete this in one sitting using the unlimited continues you get. Use a continue though and you forfeit your score, so it's not about that, it's about how far you can get without having to use any continues at all and to post that higher score on the online leaderboard. The game is hard and enemies spew out thousands of bullets and knife-shaped bullets to take you down. The enemies are inspired by Asian mythology and do look really cool, but it's the bosses that steal the show here with their two phases, and they're tough but their designs are awesome. Now there are only 5 stages to speak of, but there are various modes which include arcade, hardcore and boss rush, as well as local co-op, and there is even a customization mode where you can choose whether to fill up your soul bar by grazing enemies' bullets or by shooting them instead, and various other little customizations to suit your preferred play style. Now there are a few complaints I have within the gameplay though that stops the game from being great for me. In the first and third level, especially if you choose the Grim Reaper, her bullets are purple. They merge into each other and it just makes it difficult to see. Many of the enemies are also repeated time and time again on the levels. And with this being no longer than 45 minutes to sort of half an hour, the aspect of the game needed more work for me just to keep it a little bit more varied. I'll get into the performance in the performance section of this review, but the hiccups here and there do affect the gameplay, as you can end up losing your rhythm. Let's talk about audio. The audio in Shikhondo Soul Eater is a mixed bag for me. I think that the soundtrack is really good. Take a listen to this. On I enjoyed the change up, especially in the boss battles when the bosses would enter their second phase, so this part of the game was pretty much on point, but the sound effects for me are really weak here. The explosions sound tinny, and when entering Soul Collect mode, I wanted the game to explode into a thunder of sound to make a much bigger deal out of it, but instead it sounds rather disappointing, and so do the bullets our protagonists shoot. I felt there was a little bit of a disconnect because of that. Audio in these particular games, for me anyway, has to be on point, and it just missed the mark. In terms of visuals and performance, visually again the game is mixed for me. I love the backgrounds and the art throughout the game, don't get me wrong. The boss designs are wonderful and creepy all at the same time, but then there are things that spoil it for me and take away some of that pristine artwork. For example, some of the effects when things explode look really cheap, just the black fog, and this same effect is also used for the bomb weapon. The colours chosen I've already mentioned for the Grim Reaper blend into some of the backgrounds with the bullets, and that's not what you want from a bullet hell game. It's only on some levels, and with the Grim Reaper specifically, as the girl's bullets are red, so not much of an issue with her. But when the Grim Reaper is your favourite character, then it's a bit of a problem. While the visuals are nice to look at, when you look close enough you do see a lot of pixelation, which again does take away from that overall very nicely designed game, especially as it was made by just the one person. Now lastly, unfortunately, I want to mention the performance issues. There are stutters and missed frames, which in a game like this, when you're trying to find a rhythm, it can affect the gameplay experience. So it's just something to point out if you're looking into this one. Shikhondo unfortunately does not have a Tate mode, so you can't play the game vertically, which would have had a nice addition. In terms of value then, the game is not very long, but you will spend many hours trying to improve your highest scores to get up on those leaderboards. And that's what these games are all about. These types of games are great for any kind of player, and this one caters to the hardcore and casuals with its various difficulty options and the fact that you can play with a friend locally, although not online, which is a missed opportunity. The replayability comes in the form of constant improvement, and I for one like to fire this one up for a quick blast on the go. Is it worth your hard-earned cash? Well, that depends if you like bullet hell games. Currently $12.59. It could have benefited for me for being under $10 as there's so much competition on the eShop now, but it's just about worth it if you've played most of the other bullet hells on the Switch and fancy another to add to your collection. Now if you're on the fence about it, then the game is available at a 10% discount over the next 2 weeks from launch, so it's currently $12.59. It will go up after that time. Also, don't forget that this game comes in a wonderful limited edition from Eastasiasoft, only available at PlayAsia, albeit at double the price. Though as of this review, a release date hasn't yet been determined. But before my verdict, the top 3 things I love and top 3 things I hate about Shikhondo Soul Eater. Number 1, I love anything that comes in a physical edition. Check this one out on playasia.com, it looks absolutely fantastic. Number 2, loving the soundtrack all throughout this game, it's absolutely brilliant. And number 3, check out the artwork, especially of those bosses and backgrounds, it looks absolutely superb. 3 things I hate about this game. I hate that the fact those bullets merge with the backgrounds, that's certainly my number 1 pet hate. Number 2, I really dislike some of the sound effects which spoil the game slightly. And thirdly, it's a shame we can't play this game in tape mode. Having a vertical mode would have been a nice touch. So there's my top 3 things I love and hate about Shikhondo Soul Eater. Let's get on to my verdict. Shikhondo is a good bullet hell game, but for me it falls short from being great. The artwork, music, gameplay are all very good, and if you have the ability to play with a friend, as well as those online leaderboards, this is what keeps the game addictive. However, for every good thing there are little things which just hold it back. Performance issues, repetitive enemies, sound effects and bullet colours which merge into the backgrounds, to name a few, which is a bit of a shame. If you like bullet hell games, then it's still a recommended game from me. If you're in no rush, then just wait for a sale. This one from me then, an overall score of 6.5 out of 10. Good, but it could have been better. If you enjoyed this review guys, then do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button. It means a lot to me and the SwitchWatch team. And if you're a new watcher here, then why not consider subscribing for everything Nintendo Switch related. And if you wait until the end card and you click on the playlist, you'll be able to see the best shooters on the Nintendo Switch right now. And lastly, don't be a stranger, guys and girls. Leave us a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this review, the game itself, whether you're looking to purchase the game, and what's your favorite bullet hell game on the Nintendo Switch. I'd love to know. My name's Juan Romero from SwitchWatch. I'll see you again on the next one. Take care and have a great weekend.